morning. Wishing you all a winsome Wednesday. There you go, Mara. I came up with the W word. You stole my wonderful yesterday. So today will be a winsome day. Much respect to all the veterans today. Much respect. We salute you and we thank you. Fitting to start this morning with a positive thought regarding our veterans. I found this online. It was an anonymous quote, but I think it really speaks volumes. For the veteran, thank you for bravely doing what you're called to do so we can safely do what we're free to do. Nice sentiment. Freedom allows for us to make choices. Today, as we continue our contemplation of positive thoughts from the Word of God, let's remember the gift of freedom we have, given to us by God and defended over the years by our valiant volunteers. I'm trying to sit back farther. I've been told that I'm too close. So I don't want to be too close. Still think I have a face for radio, but anyhow, I'll try to stay back. I just got a big head. That's why it looks so big. Thought comes to me today as I consider what this day represents for the believer. I hope I can do this thought justice. This thing really spoke to my heart this morning out of Philippians 4:14. The NIV says this, "Yet it was good of you to share in my troubles." Paul wrote this. Paul wrote this to the Philippians toward the end of his letter to the Philippians, about all the difficulties Paul had been going through, and yet he finds solace, he finds encouragement, he finds strength in the Lord. And yet, despite all the strength that he finds in the Lord, despite everything, I can do all things through him, and all these amazing statements that Paul makes in the book of Philippians, he also reminds us, good morning, Mary, he also reminds us of this. Yet it was good of you to share in my troubles. That's the Christian life. It's the believer's life. You know, it's just a good way to live. Even if you're not a believer, what a wonderful way, wonderful thought. But for us believers to realize and to embrace this, who in your life can you turn to and say these words? It was good of you to share my troubles. Who can say these to you? Often we don't know who has helped us when we're desperate in need. Sometimes there's somebody who has helped anonymously, much like that anonymous quote we had earlier. Often we'll give and trust that the gift will get to someone who's in desperate need. Pastoring a small church, money's come in and they're earmarked for certain things, or we as a church have thought every month we want to give to this organization because we believe in what they're doing, different organizations. And we're just hoping that it gets to what it's intended to do. Other times we give and we get to see the reaction of the recipient. That's fun as well. I love it when you can give to somebody and you see the joy in their face. But today I want to talk about the other type of giving. Sometimes we give because it's who we are. It's what defines us. No accolades, just calling. Someone's just calling, doing what they're called to do, doing what they're called to do. Just doing that. You know, like a veteran. Just doing what they're called to do, day in, day out. Those of us who are not serving our country, we're hoping that they don't ever have to go into harm's way. We're praying. I would imagine most of those in the service are hoping that they don't have to get into harm's way. Yet they're there in case they do. They're there for us. See, it's up to us now. Those whose freedom is secure. you and I, our freedoms are secure. To reach out and reciprocate. To utter these words to those who could now use our help. Yet it was good of you to share in my troubles. May I help you in yours? Can I give you a hand? Is there something I can do for you? So many today, the veterans, so many need our help. So many are in desperate straits. I'm so thankful for the veterans who are doing well. I want to tell them, thank you for helping me in my time of trouble. Because without my freedom, I'd be in trouble. There's no question, we all would be. Let's remember that. Especially when we see someone who could benefit from a kind word, a moment of our time, or just a friendly smile. You know, sometimes just a friendly smile. I get opportunities to go about, and it's incredible how these, just a moment of time, it doesn't need to be long, just a moment of time, or a kind word, a friendly smile, the impact that has on people. True freedom is generous. I believe that with all my heart. True freedom is very generous. And sharing others' troubles is the highest calling of the believer. Let me repeat that. Sharing others' troubles is the highest calling of a believer. It's right up there with what the veterans do every day for our country. They get it. I'm in awe when I think about so many veterans who have been so respectful, so helpful for you and for I. They are really masterful at stopping trouble before it begins. They really are good at that. Thank you today to the veterans. I pray for each and every one of us, those of us who are believers, that we can gravitate to this truth and be able to say to somebody from our heart, it was good of you to share in my troubles. It was good of you. I thank you. Much respect today, especially to our veterans, this Veterans Day. Love to all you. See you tomorrow.